Ryusei's blood seeped into the cracks of the sea crypt floor. The church had branded him heretic, and the executioners had not been gentle.
Is this really how it ends? Left to rot in the dark for a crime I didn't commit?
With the last of his strength, he clawed his hands together, not to Solis, to any god still listening.
A prayer. After 800 years, how starved I am.
The air thickened. Black runes erupted from the stone floor and snaked up Ryusei's arms, carving into his flesh.
What? What is this? It burns!
The ceiling split. Seawater gushed down, and a colossal shape of horn and eye formed above him.
I am Karth, forgotten, hungry. You called, and I answer.
Ryusei's body arched as the god's presence poured into him. His robes stained black at the hem, and his eyes burst into mismatched flame.
Breathe, vessel. We are one now, and the sea will never forget us again.
The chains fell from his wrists. Ryusei stood, water swirling, runic fire burning across his skin.
I can feel the sea. Every wave. Every depth.
He hurled himself through a gap in the stone as the sea swallowed the crypt behind him. Morning light found him washed up on a jagged shore. The runes still pulsed.
What? Am I now? This power? It's not mine. It's like a whole ocean inside me.
You are my vessel. I am Koworth. We will need each other. Learn to wield this power.
Not far off, the marine church stirred. Guards found the crypt ruins, and blood. The heretic was missing. A report reached the high priest in his golden halls. The heretic survived, and something else had answered.
Impossible. Unless the Old One answered. Seal the coast. Find the boy before he speaks again.
I am not alone. Karth is. Hungry. I feel it gnawing at my mind.
3 days later, at the execution docks of Port Solis, 12 pirates awaited the noose. The crowd murmured uneasily.
The hunger stirs. Karth, is this what you want? A public display?
Yes, their fear will feed us. Raise your hand, vessel. I will show them the sea's wrath.
A great waterspout erupted from the harbor, crashing into the scaffold. Guards scattered like leaves.
I am Ryusei, vessel of Karth. The church's judgment is a lie. These men are free by the true God's will.
The pirates cut their bonds and plunged into the waves. The crowd knelt, whispering the forbidden name. At the high cathedral, the news shattered the high priest's composure. His golden staff struck the floor.
Summon Honoka. The heretic blends godplay with insurrection. She will end this heresy.
Honoka knelt in her silver armor, accepting the scroll. Her glaive gleamed in the chapel light.
I will find him. If he wields divine power, he must answer for the chaos he has unleashed.
Honoka rode out, but whispers of the orphanage massacre followed. The church hid something dark to the north. Ryusei knelt on a shore, fighting the hunger that Kaorth called strength.
You resist, but the hunger is our bond. Let it guide your hand.
Days later, bandits ambushed him in a mountain pass. Unaware of the god within him, he raised a hand to disarm them, but the hunger surged. Water crushed them into the rocks before he could stop it. 3 bodies lay broken on the rocks. Ryusei stared at his trembling hands, the runes still pulsing.
They were nothing. You need not mourn.
I killed them. I couldn't control it.
That evening, Honoka's ship sailed into a rising storm. Scouts had tracked the heretic and found carnage.
The hunger grows, and I am losing myself. How long until I can't stop it again?
On a barren islet battered by wind and salt, Honoka finally cornered Ryusei. Her glaive aimed at his heart, unwavering.
Ryusei, you are charged with heresy and insurrection against the Marine Church. Surrender now.
Ryusei did not flinch. The broken anchor symbol was cold in his hand.
Heresy! I saw a church ledger that proves they murdered an entire orphanage. Surrender to that.
She lunged without another word, but a shimmering divine shield erupted from his palm, catching her blade mid-swing. With a pulse of power, he disarmed her and sent her crashing onto the rocks. He stood over her, calm.
He spared me. But why would a heretic show mercy?
From his robe, He pulled a torn page, a church ledger entry detailing payment for witness removal.
Read it. Then decide if your church is worthy of your blade.
Onoka's hands trembled as she scanned the names. When she finally lifted her eyes, the islet was empty. Only sea mist remained. Onoka anchored her ship at a secluded cove, unable to report. She needed answers. Alone, under cover of night, she slipped into the cathedral archives. The ledger page matched none of the official reports. She found a hidden shelf where old financial logs had been altered. The ink was fresh over dried blood.
They erased the orphanage like it never existed. The high priest ordered this.
Days later, off a fishing village, Ryusei calmed a rogue wave that threatened a fleet, his power undeniable. But as the fisherman cheered, a tremor seized him. The runes burned red, and his vision blurred with alien hunger.
More. Their gratitude feeds me, but it's not enough.
I have to find a way to control this before I hurt someone again.
Onoka left a coded message at a known heretic drop point, a request to speak. She needed to hear his truth. At the appointed hour, on a stretch of silver sand, two enemies stood under the same stars.
I found altered logs. The high priest ordered the orphanage burned after a scandal. The church buried it.
Then you see the truth. The church I served was built on lies. I was branded heretic for finding that page.
But as they spoke, the hunger coiled tighter. Kaorth's presence surged, feeding on the tension. The crunch of boots on sand cut through the night. A church patrol had tracked them to the cove. Onoka stepped between Ryusei and the lanterns, raising a hand in a calming gesture, ready to lie. But Ryusei's control shattered. A torrent of seawater answered, and the beach became a grave. When the waves receded, only silence remained. The patrol lay broken among the rocks, shaking. Honoka helped drag the bodies into a tide cave, erasing the evidence of the slaughter.
I've crossed a line I cannot uncross. The church I served is no longer my home. What am I now?
By dawn, a silent skiff carried them away, the shoreline fading. Two fugitives bound by blood and a terrible truth. In a sea cave carved by forgotten tides, Honoka removed her silver breastplate. It clattered on the stone.
I cannot wear this any longer. The church I believed in is a lie.
She pulled an ancient scroll from her pouch, its edges blackened by flame. She had taken it from the archive's deepest shelf, the Pact of Erasure. Solis and Kaorth were equal gods of the sea, until the church struck his name from every book.
They erased him intentionally. Not because he was dangerous, but to make Solis the only god.
A captured messenger pigeon squawked nearby. Its scroll bore the high priest's seal, a ritual to lure the heretic using orphan children as sacrifice.
He will burn the world to keep his throne. We sail for the cathedral now.
Kaorth's silhouette flickered around Ryusei, multiple eyes opening with primal hunger at the thought of confrontation.
Their fear will feed us. Do not resist this vessel.
They pushed the skiff into the gray waters. A storm was gathering, and they sailed straight into it. The skiff sliced through black swells under a bruise-colored sky. Kaorth's presence roiled inside Ryusei like a second storm.
Stop looking at me like I am a bomb. I can feel the hunger scraping at my spine every second.
Then use me as a tether. I am not here to judge. I am here to keep you from drowning.
Her faith tastes sweet. Let it burn in my name. We could feast forever.
Number. She's not food. She's the only reason I am still me.
Onoka said nothing more. She rested her hand over his, and the runes dimmed, just enough. The city walls rose from the fog, and beyond them, the cathedral spires clawed at the sky. Inside, the high priest's ritual had already begun. Caged orphans cried under the golden altar. They slipped through a half-ruined sea gate, the runes on Ryusei's skin scalding white-hot.
I will not be denied. Not now. Not when the feast is so close.
The cathedral doors exploded inward. Divine light scoured the nave, and the high priest's chant died in his throat.
The heretic dares profane this holy rite. The children will cleanse your sin with their blood.
Guards surged forward, but Ryusei's power was a tide. Yet with each blow, Kaorth's voice cracked, not with hunger, but with something raw. A vision burned through Ryusei's mind. Ancient ships, crews with glowing, maddened eyes, Kaworth's colossal form feeding on their frenzy.
I did not want you to see this. I was not the victim. The church painted me.
The vision shifted. Kaworth kneeling before a council of founders, his spectral form weeping, his hands raised in plea.
You begged to be erased? Why?
Onoka vaulted over him, her glaive a silver blur, deflecting 3 blades at once. Whatever this is, face it later.
The forgotten god fears his own truth. Strike them down before the secret dies with them.
Ryusei's hands shook, the vision still clawing at him. The hunger coiled, but a deeper fracture had opened, one that no sword could close.
Ryusei, I was not erased by force. I begged them to strike my name from every stone.
You begged. But why? The church painted you a tyrant.
The vision sharpened. Kaworth in his prime, benevolence twisted by hunger as his followers' eyes glowed mad.
I turned worship into frenzy. I feared I would devour the world, so I went to the founders and wept for erasure. 8 centuries of silence have quelled the hunger, but if you restore my name fully, it may awaken again.
Then every public miracle, every time I spoke your name, I was feeding a sleeping monster.
Yes, I would rather sleep forever than become that monster again. You must stop the High Priest without unleashing me.
Whatever you decide, decide now. The orphans are dying.
Then I won't use your name. I'll crush him with the raw power of the sea, and after we'll find a way to seal the hunger forever.
Then be my anchor, Ryusei. Together we drown the lie, not with hunger, but with truth.
Enough stalling. The first child's blood will seal the pact. Solis demands the heretic's taint be burned away.
There is no cleansing him, only stopping him. Karth, if we erase ourselves again, could you endure another 1,000 years?
I would welcome it. The hunger is a wound that only silence can heal, but you.
No. If you vanish, the church wins. Expose them, crush the high priest, but do not erase your existence.
A child's scream cut through the clamor. The first cage had been dragged to the altar's edge.
Onoka, listen, I can end him now. But if Kaorth's name is spoken by a living soul after, the hunger returns. Only sleep can seal it.
The second cage rattled. The high priest's hand was raised, the chant near completion.
I'll destroy him now. Then Kaorth and I will walk into the deep. 1,000-year sleep. No name, no hunger.
Ryusei, promise me you'll come back. Even if it takes centuries, I'll keep your truth alive.
Instead of answering, Ryusei turned, and the sea answered for him, roaring through the cathedral like the end of all things. The high priest roared a forbidden incantation. Chains of golden light burst from his staff, snaking toward Ryusei, a binding meant for the forgotten god himself.
Let them take us. If this seal can hold the hunger, then I accept.
But Ryusei's will would not yield. With a roar, he broke the chains, channeling the sea's endless pressure through his own body.
Impossible. That binding was forged to seal a god.
The wave struck the high priest like a tsunami. His golden staff cracked, and he crumpled against the altar, robes singed.
You think this ends with me? The faith of millions feeds my power.
But that very faith was a poison. The cathedral's incense, the kneeling congregation, all of it poured into Kaorth's hunger like oil on embers.
No, not now. Kaorth, fight it.
Ryusei, focus on me. Don't let it consume you.
The high priest laughed from the rubble, but his triumph was drowned by the primal scream building in Ryusei's throat. Yet even as he laughed, the high priest clawed at the altar, his lips twisting around a final, forsaken curse.
If that curse hits, it will unravel everything. Karth, we take it in. Now.
He opened his soul to the oncoming blackness. The runes screamed white-hot, and Kaorth's hunger roared in answer.
I feel it, Ryusei. Use the hunger. Pour it into his own poison. Let us end this together.
In that shared inner landscape, they bent the hunger not outward, but into the curse redirecting its maligned purpose.
What? No, this cannot be. I am Solis's chosen.
The twisted magic struck him dead center. His body flared with violet light, then crumbled into ash, robes collapsing empty. Ryusei dropped to one knee, the cathedral spinning. The runes still burned, and the hunger, denied its feast, clawed at his insides.
Ryusei, it's over. You did it. But you are still burning. We need to find a way to calm the hunger.
It's not over. The hunger. I can feel it waiting. The only real seal is sleep. I have to do it now.
Ryusei struggled to his feet, the high priest's broken staff in hand. The congregation cowered, waiting for divine wrath.
This church sold its soul, not to a dark god, but to gold and blood.
He cast the torn pages, and they fluttered over the crowd like ash from a dead fire.
No more gods who demand sacrifice. No more priests who bury orphans to hide their crimes.
He speaks truth. I was sent to capture him, but found only lies in my own armor.
The divine era must end. The gods must sleep for your sake and theirs.
Some fell to their knees, weeping. Others fled into the streets. The old world had cracked.
You can lead them. A new faith built on truth, not fear.
He means to leave, to seal himself away, and I have to let him.
Ryusei turned toward the ruined doors, the runes still pulsing beneath his skin. The sleep called.
It is time, Ryusei. The sea calls us to the deep. Let us rest.
No, there must be another way. I won't let you vanish.
Onoka, if I stay, the hunger will rise again. This is the only way to keep the world safe.
She cannot bear it, but you know this is my wish as well. I will not be a monster again.
Then together, we sleep. 1,000 years of silence, healing the wound.
Onoka rushed forward and threw her arms around him, armor clashing against fading robes.
You promised you'd come back. Even if it takes centuries, I'll keep your truth alive.
Ryusei's body began to crystallize, Cahorth's silhouette merging into his, light spilling across the cliff.
I'll remember you both.
The process had begun. Rock and ocean answered, and the world held its breath. The crystalline statue of Ryusei and Cahorth, their forms now a single shape, began its plunge toward the black water below. The surface sealed without a mark, the glow descending until it was a pinprick of light.
He's really gone, but the sea is at peace. So will I be.
Behind her, the cathedral let out a shudder and began folding into itself. Yet not a single stone struck the innocent.
Clear the square. Get the children to the western gate. There's food and shelter there.
Survivors stumbled from the rubble, and Hanoka's voice cut through the panic like a glaive.
We start anew, not by divine decree, but by our own hands.
Far below, the statue settled on the ocean floor, a sentinel of silence. The hunger was stilled, the pact was sealed, and Hanoka, standing on the broken pier, turned toward the city that needed them both. 3 days later, in the cleared cathedral square, Hanoka stood before the remnants of a frightened city.
No more gods, only us. We will build a faith of hands, not altars.
She seized a gold sun disk banner hanging from a ruined pillar, and with one pull, rent it down.
I am forming a council. Fishermen, healers, teachers. Choices will be ours, not a high priest's. This is our symbol now. The broken anchor remembers sacrifice. The flower promises new life.
Hands lifted the emblem onto a pike, and the first rays of dawn caught the petal's golden edge around them. The sound of hammers and saws drowned the echo of collapse. The work of building a world without divine intervention had begun. Onoka watched. A smaller broken anchor brooch on her sleeve, mirroring the one beneath the sea. The gods slept. Humanity woke. Months later, in a fishing village where the new anchor flower symbol fluttered from every mast, Hanoka walked the rebuilt docks. Deep below, a faint beam of prayer light, perhaps from a grateful heart, touched the crystalline statue's still face. A skiff passed, carrying laughing children. One shouted a name, Cahorth, from a half-remembered tale.
The name, it's spoken aloud. After all we did.
But the sea remained a smooth sheet of glass. No storm, no shadow of hunger, only the cry of gulls.
It's truly sealed. The hunger sleeps. Ryusei, Cahorth, it held. Your sacrifice held.
The boat vanished around the headland, the child's voice swallowed by the sound of gentle waves. Onoka turned back toward the village, where the new symbol flew clean against the morning sky. Not a prayer answered, but a promise kept. The name was just a name now, and the world was safe. Years folded into decades. Anoka, silver-haired now and clad in simple undyed robes, stood on a high cliff overlooking the endless sea, the morning wind, carrying salt and the faint echo of old prayers.
Ryusei, Kaworth, you gave us a future free from the old chains. Did you ever know that?
Her fingers found the broken anchor brooch on her sleeve, its edges worn smooth by years of touch.
We kept your truth. The world is different now, and it was enough.
She turned from the cliff's edge, her footsteps steady on the winding path that led back to the village nestled in the cove. Below, the sea stretched in endless calm, a single gull arcing against the pale dawn sky. The statue slept beneath the waves, unneeded and at peace, a silent guardian of a covenant fulfilled.
Maybe in 1,000 years, the hunger will be a forgotten dream. And maybe, so will we.
A goose caught the new symbol flag snapping in the village below. The broken anchor and the flower hung there, unwavering. She smiled, and the dawn broke fully over the sea, gilding the waves with gold and promising another day of peace. Deep below, the crystal statue rested in a cradle of soft sand, a faint nimbus of light clinging to its still features. A school of silver fish drifted past, indifferent to the god asleep. Far above, the surface was a rippling ceiling of gold and rose. A single gull dipped low, its shadow racing across the face of the sleeping sentinel. On the cliff, the broken anchor and flower flag billowed in a clean salt breeze. The village below stirred, smoke rising from chimneys, life continuing in its gentle rhythm. A child's voice, distant and laughing, carried on the wind, then faded. The sun climbed higher, gilding every wave, promising nothing and giving everything. Deep below, the statue slept on, unneeded and at peace, and the sea, in its eternal patience, asked nothing of the land. The lone seabird wheeled once above the calm expanse, then set its wing toward the golden horizon, never looking back. Below, the water moved in long, unhurried swells, each one erasing the last. No dark shadow rose to meet it. The hunger slept and would not wake. Deep below, the statue glowed faintly, light pulsing once, then soft and steady as a heartbeat at rest. On the cliff, the wind carried a thread of old prayer and let it dissolve into salt. The sun climbed higher, bleaching the sky, and the world felt clean and new. And the sea, in its deep patience, asked nothing of the land, gave nothing but a whisper. Slowly, the frame stilled, the colors deepening into a quiet darkness. For a moment, only the sound of gentle waves remained. Then even that faded, and the screen held nothing but blessed silence.